Well, greetings, race fans, Multi-21 members, moms, dads, sons, daughters, friends, and family. Here we are for Season 6, Round 5 of the Gr4 80-lap race. Pardon me, 31 laps. I believe it's 80 minutes. In any event, here we are at Deep Forest Raceway, an entirely fictional track created from the minds of the good folks at Polyphony Digital, set in the beautiful country of Switzerland. Again, entirely fictional, although I'm not sure that the scenery is wholly fictional. Tonight's race, and I say tonight's race because it's going to be held at night, we'll be featuring all of our best drivers in the Gr4 series. We have 13 cars, plus me, your host SpiffyG, acting as commentator. And we are currently in practice, so let's go to the practice while I adjust my settings. Right. So we can already see Bella is using practice to practice his racecraft, not just to see what kind of speed he can bring. He made a nice clean but rather tight angle on that corner when he was passing Ivan. Oh, excuse me, bro. We should be lapping out today in the low to mid 130s. Certainly the top drivers will be looking at 133s, maybe even a 132 sprinkled in here and there. Probably later in the race as the pack starts to spread. For now though, you can expect 135s, 134s in the initial laps. And here's Craig, aka Mr. Cool. Definitely going to be one of the faster drivers today, and definitely one to watch out for. I like his splashy, splatty Transformers sort of livery. Very interesting. And here's Ivan, who usually comes up with some interesting livery ideas. This one particularly appealed to me because of the scales. I don't know, there's just something about dragon skin that makes me smile. And with the befitting decal Monster Energy on his rear window. King Racer is in his familiar Red Bull livery. Looking very much the muscle car. It's always fun to watch King Racer. I feel like I'm watching a NASCAR race on an actual track where people turn right. Here's Marky. And his also familiar red and black pony car. Getting a little squirrely. That's an interesting turn there. It looks a lot like one of the turns at the Red Bull Ring. And the approach is similar. But also, I think, quite a bit more difficult than the one at the Red Bull Ring. Is as you approach that little puzzle piece, you're coming from a sweeping turn and then you hit a suddenly kind of acute angle. So you're flying through that turn, just dabbing the brakes, but then as you approach the next corner, you're having to hit the brakes really hard, and oftentimes you find yourself at an angle, which will send the car off its tires oftentimes if you're not careful. So you want to try to approach it with a straight line as much as you can, and if you get it wrong, it'll send you into the wall. Move up to a car. I'm sorry about the bouncing around, but I want you to see what this corner looks like. And there's JJ demonstrating exactly what I'm talking about. And that is not unusual for anybody at that turn. And Justin waits patiently. Good man. Enters the track safely. Again, sorry to jump around so much. Trying to find somebody who's about to approach that series of turns. Here we are. It's Craig. Now watch how Craig approaches it. High speed. As soon as he takes this turn, he's hitting the brakes. Gives it a good hard punch. That slows him down enough to make that corner. Then you hit another wider but still rather acute corner. And that forces you to temper your speed as you enter that tunnel. It's a real interesting set of corners. Lots of tunnels. Just a whole lot of fun to race on. It's enough to make you wish it existed in real life. But no, it is straight from the imaginations of the programmers and designers at Polyphony Digital. Bless their hearts, they came up with a good one. This track is a radical redo from the original Trial Mountain that came out with the original Gran Turismo. Obviously, since it is the pixelated mess, it's made of 16 colors. But also, they've added barriers, they've widened portions of it. And in lots and lots of ways, just giving it a much more realistic feel. It's a lot of fun to drive. I had never seen it before, since I'm myself rather new to the Gran Turismo franchise. I did get Gran Turismo 6, but to be perfectly honest, I didn't use it that much, since it was obsolete by the time I had it on my PlayStation. But I feel like I've missed out. This is a terrific place. It's a mixture of high speed and intense cornering, which is just hard to beat. Alright, So Craig has laid down a 133.2. So Craig is already setting the bar. Mr. Gr4 is not far behind him time-wise. Gr4. I've never heard it pronounced by an actual Norwegian person. I have Danish family, and look at that, say, Bibel, which I'm sure I have absolutely bodged pronunciation-wise, but I don't have a hot potato to stick in the back of my throat at the moment, so you get what you get. I don't know if you noticed that just now, but Marky was coming through the tunnel, and you can see his rear was getting a bit dislodged. And that pony car is a bear in these tight turns. All right, Marky's going back. Put some new shoes on and maybe brood for a minute or two. Oh dear. All right. So my camera button isn't working at the moment. I am going to have to exit and return. Pardon me. And we're back, hooray. Hello, Craig, with your half-second penalty. Ah, Cal has brought a beautiful, rather tropical-looking livery on his Dodge Viper. This should be a really interesting car to see go around this track, particularly with all the turns. It's got a lot of speed, but punching it into corners, that can be a different story. Ah, here's Craig getting one of them wrong again, but that's why we have practice. Here's Falcon in the Joker who got a new suit livery. Lovely splendiferous colors. All right, folks. That is the end of rehearsal. It is time to qualify. Everybody's leaving the paddock. One hopes. Including me. There we go. There's Cal and that Viper. Great livery, son. Hello, Bella! In his famous chessboard livery. That's what we'll call it this weekend. Let's see if it's a chessboard or a checkered flag this weekend. Is he going to play it aggressive? Or is he going to play it tactical? Well, I don't see the cars spreading out at the moment. They're probably just warming up their tires. Alright, and they are beginning to spread out as we get closer to the start-finish line. getting their tires nice and warm, ready to go out on their first flying laps. And we'll start with Cal, who has now picked up the first position as far as the game is concerned. He is tucked back in. Let's see who goes out on his first flyer. Ah, it's our assertive friend Bella. Bella takes control, going into that tough series. Slams on the brakes right before he gets to the apex. So Bella is on his flying lap. Let's check his times. I think he got it a little bit slidey. Come through, maybe gone a little bit too aggressive. Let's see if that's hurt his time. Alright, here we get to the final turn. Toward the start-finish. Long straight here at the front. A 134, not a bad lap, not at all. A 134. A 136 for King. A 133 for Mr. Newgrove. That is a brilliant first lap. Justin's still in the paddock. Firewoodman's put in a 137. Nice. Another 137 for Falcon. And Judicial is approaching that last turn. Let's get on his nose and see. 136.2. Nice lap, Judicial. Back to the front. I apologize again, my trigger isn't working. Not entirely sure what's happening. The trigger should allow me to move between cameras without jerking around, but for some reason it just doesn't want to play ball today. So I hope I'm not giving anybody spells. But unfortunately, we can only give what the software will give us. I'll be darned. Okay. Well, close your eyes for a second. I'm going to go back to position 1. Okay, Mr. Newbro still has the fastest time on lap 3. And we've got about 10 minutes to go. Everybody today is running on the soft tires. There is tire wear. There will be many, many stops. Drivers are required to use all 3 racing compounds. This is not a wet race. And I believe we are going to have nightfall. We're doing the qualifying during the day, but I believe that this is being done in the evening, so that about halfway or so through the race we'll be looking at a night race. And that will just add to the fun. It'll make the blind corners even blinder. Let's see what Craig's got going on. A penalty. Well, that's going to scotch this lap. And he can't just go into the paddock. That penalty is going to follow him. So that could be a bit of a pain if he's trying to get P1. Oftentimes, strategically, P2 is the better place to be on a lot of these tracks, as it is in much of racing, particularly Formula One. If you can get on the inside position, P2 is often a better place to be. Alright, so yes, Craig drops a 137. He has warm tires, they're not too terribly worn. I don't think it's going to be awfully slippery for him on his softs right now. He should be good to go another hot lap. Punch the brakes here. Yep. Get as wide as you can. Take this one tight. Clip the apex. Clip the next apex. Come in straight. Slam them. Get that car to rotate all the way to the outside, tight into the apex, use all the track and out. Beautiful. That's how you do that sequence of corners. Alright, Newbro's on a flyer. Bella has just set a 133.9, so Bella is dropping in with the class of the field. King Racer is struggling, at least for him. At 135, that's unusual. I'm expecting a 134 from King Racer. He's fast. So come on, King. Live up to my expectations. I know how important that is to you. Excellent. Newbro uses every inch of that track. He doesn't hold anything back on his flyers. He uses every speck of the track. Check Justin. Is he qualified? Doesn't look like Justin's put a time down yet. Justin, if you're listening, I would love to see you on track. The fans are waiting. Let's hit your ride with Falcon. Alright, Celtic's just set a 133.5. So that puts him in P2. And Judicial has dropped to 134.4. So that'll put him solidly in the middle. Probably the upper middle. Alright, come on, Falcon. Give it the beans. And a 138. Well, Fire Woodman has put down his best lap as 136.7. Sammy, 135.5. This one's not going to make that. Mamba did a 135.3. Alright, King's on his outlap, so he's just going to be warming tires. King's using stability control, interesting. but he's not using traction control. That's an interesting tactic. You'd think he'd be more concerned with spinning tires around the corner, but it seems like he's more concerned with maintaining overall grip. All right, Markey has a 134.8. That's got him up into P8. Cal Naughton, a 134.5. And Celtic's out on his flyer. Pun intended. Oh, that was great. Going around that corner the way he did. He got the car to rotate in the corner and got a little bit of a slide out, but not too much. And at least when I've driven this track, that seems to be the best way to approach it. If you're driving something particularly that's front wheel drive, or excuse me, front engine rear wheel drive, an FR car, they like to slide in that spot that you're hitting a pretty steep downhill at a high rate of speed. Can't beat his best time. Meanwhile, we have Mr. Gr4 out on another flyer. Looks like he is coming up on Firewood Man. Black Mamba, excuse me. I saw the yellow. I panicked. Mamba's quick. And I can't tell from where we are right now if he's in the slipstream. Looks like he's a little bit too far away to catch a slipstream, but if he's got a slip, he could catch Mamba out on a flyer. He may be able to use that to go even faster. Let's hope, for his sake. Now Mamba runs a little wide. Yeah, I think he is going to have to back out. Once Gr4 catches up, and he will. It looks like Gr4's going to have to bail on this one. Mamba can't move. Yeah, he's getting in that slipstream on those corners, and it's pulling him wide. Yeah. He's lost downforce on the front end. So he'll have to abort this lap. Justin's still in the pits. Since that 137.0, Falcon has not dropped any faster laps. Firewood Man with a 136.6, decent lap. Sammy 135.5 still, nothing faster. Looks like we posted our fastest laps. King's got a 135.5. He's going to beat that here. Nice. It hasn't gained him any positions. He still remains in P9. Well, this is it. If you're on your flyers, you better hurry it up. Mamba sets his fastest lap. I believe he has not moved up any. If he has, it isn't much. He's in P10 at the moment. All right, we have about a minute. Falcon's just picked up a 136.7. Great. That's going to move him up. And that's it. He's not going to get to bank that flyer. So here we have it. Our lineup is set. On the front row we have Gr4 and Celtic Flyer. On row 2 we have Bella and Craig. Row 3, Ivan and Judicial. Row 4 is Cal Naughton and Marky B. Row 5, King Racer, Black Mamba. Row 6, Sammy, Firewoodman. And all alone at row 7 is Justin, who I believe did not set a time. No, excuse me, Falcon and Justin. I think we got another driver in here that I missed. That's me at the bottom. I'm not driving. Thank goodness for the rest of the pack. Now, apologies in advance if I have to back out and jump back in again. The cameras are really dodgy. Once the race is underway, I may end up losing control of the camera and will not be able to get you an outside view. All right, here we go. The lights are on. There are penalties for jumping. We're off. We're clean. Here we go. And as promised, I have no outside view, so I'm going to jump to the back here and see what happens in turn 1. A little nip by Marky. Just a touch. The Marky backs off wisely and fairly. But that has taken a little bit of the punch out of Judicial. That slowed that Ferrari down just a tick. And the top 5 are peeling away. Let's get on Ivan's tail. The pack seemed to be pulling away from him. He got a little bit close to Craig and backed off a teensy. Craig and Bella are having a nice little bumper dance. All right, into that tight 90-degree. Oh, Nolan just dive bombs. Doesn't hit anybody, at least not hard. That was risky. Yeah, I think Craig must have seen it coming in his rear view. I don't know how either one of them avoided an accident, but that looked that looked risky. But Ivan made it work somehow, but not for long. Craig took that slipstream, and Ivan wasn't able to get a whole lot of speed come around that corner. It seems like that GTR just went ahead and took his slipstream and just slingshotted himself right around. So in the end, nothing has changed despite that very bold maneuver by Ivan. Good Lord. And Ivan's in his slip. Gonna try to make it go again. Let's see what happens. Ivan has had a lot of coffee this morning. Oh, Bella, what did you do, son? He got all squirrely, but he got it back together. Got pointed in the right direction. Let's take a look at race info and see how our tires are doing. He's on hards, so perhaps he's just not used to driving hards here. There might be a little bit cold. It'll just depend on his start. He may not have warmed up his tires adequately, although we are on lap 2. They should be up to temperature. All right, so the lead pack is moving away. Ivan and Craig are having a good race. Ubro and Celtic Flyer. Celtic Flyer's running away, which in the last 3 races has been the status quo. Celtic somehow has found his speed in the Gr4 machinery, because he just gets in that car and he takes off. And you never see him again until the race is over. All right, let's jump to the back of the pack, see how we're doing back here. Sammy is 44 seconds behind, so clearly something occurred at the beginning. Far, far away from the rest of the group. Falcon's 30 seconds behind, so it's a 14-second gap between P13 and 14. 6.5 seconds to Cal Naughton. And Cal and Judicial have a bit of a race happening. Taking that corner rather slowly. And I don't blame him being in that big old Viper. I don't like to corner very much. The Ferrari, on the other hand, is surprising. The Ferrari is a handling car, although it's a handful of a handling car. It's not for the faint of heart. If you get it wrong in a Ferrari, it goes wrong in a hurry. There's Judicial. Here we go at the 90-degree turn. He brakes a little early and enters the apex a bit early. And that scrubs some speed away from him. And that is a good opportunity for Cal Naughton to get on his bumper. Oh, we're pitting. All right, guys. I see what you're doing here. They're going to get rid of their hards early. Every compound of tire is required in order to not get penalized. So you're going to have to get on hards at some point. And most people don't care very much for the hards on a twisty, turny track like this one. Firewoodman is dancing along at the moment. Putting down a decent lap time at 1:38.8. King Racer at 1:37.2 is his last lap. And hooray, we do have the outside view. Thank you, polyphony gods. Here's King. Slings around Mamba. A little touch and appeared to send him too wide. We'll have to have a look at that later. Meanwhile, Firewood Man has a bit of difficulty. Well, King just made that assertive move and then went into the pit. I don't know if he was planning that or if he just felt like he'd better do it in that moment. So Mamba continues, looking very fast in that Mac. Up to the front we go, and again, apologies for jumping between cars. That is not my intent. But Craig and Ivan have continued the battle. This time Ivan's taken charge. Craig being content to follow along in the slipstream. For a moment anyway. I think he really wants this corner. I'm a little surprised. He's not playing the long game here. He's not trying to save fuel, apparently, by staying in Ivan's slip. No, he'd rather threaten him on lap 5. Which frankly makes for a lot more fun racing. So thanks for that, Craig and Ivan. My goodness. This is a scrap. Let's see if he tries the over-under. Not for the moment. So now that they swap positions, it seems like Ivan still isn't going to give up the fight. He's not going to content himself with saving a little bit of fuel. Greg brakes a little early. That surprises Ivan. These two cars are very different. They have different handling characteristics, to say the least. So their braking points should be quite different, at least their preferred braking points. I think Craig's going to force the issue on that count. The Porsche is going to use throttle and engine control a whole lot more than the GTR does. When you pull back on the throttle of the Porsche, it likes to rotate around the corner. So sometimes you don't have to brake quite as much when you're entering the turn. And somebody please tell me if they feel that's wrong. That's the way I've been doing it, and so if I have been doing it the wrong way, I'm begging you to tell me so I can get it right, because I cannot drive that car. Alright, enough about me. Let's watch the race. Oh, man! Craig outbrakes himself. Almost takes himself into the wall. He got himself a scratch. So now we've swapped positions yet again. Alright, I'm going to have to move to a different part of the track. This is golden. Let's see, Mr. Dubrow. Still in second position. 3 seconds away from Celtic Flyer, who is just being true to form today. Running on the softs. Able to put down just cracking times. Solid 133s all up and down the chain. Dubrow 133s, couple 134s. So you can see how Celtic Flyer has been able to pull away. Just putting out brilliant times, solid, just consistent, just excellent driving. He did drop a 134. It's a low 134, and it's more than likely his tires telling him it is time for a new set of boots. All right, let's go back to Ivan and Craig, because this is nuts. Oh, the hits just keep on coming. Just don't let them be real hits, boys. I'm going to shut up and let you watch this. Craig's going for the over-under. Just couldn't pull it off in that spot. So I'll have to be content with the slipstream. He's trying the slingshot. That's setting up for the outside of this next turn. And he's going wide, over, under, pulls it off. All right, hard braking into this corner. Let's see if the GTR's braking style is any kind of a hindrance for Ivan. So far, it hasn't set him back one speck. It doesn't seem to be throwing him off, in other words. Let's take a look from inside Ivan's Dragon car. This is just too good. There's nobody behind him. Can't quite make it work in that corner. And neither one's going in for tires. We're going to stay on those softs, which are only about half worn. They'll still be able to put down some solid times. All right, he's going to slingshot around. He hopes. Can't quite make the outside work. Can he go under? No, he can't. Too far out. Tricky S's. Hard on the brakes. Craig goes a little bit loose, but holds together. We have a yellow. See if we can find it. Ah, looks like we have Falcon off. All right, Cal Naughton and Marky B have a real thing. They were having their Craig and Ivan moment. Looks like Cal Naughton has gained a little separation. Let's move on up to Sammy and Bella. See if they have anything. Well, he has 13 seconds to go. Craig's got 10 seconds to Justin. Justin is right on Fire Woodman's tail. It'll tap. We're going to call that. Oh, that definitely hurt Justin more than it hurt Fire Woodman. All right, Craig's in for tires, so that race between him and Ivan has ended for the moment. Off to the front. Again, sorry for the jumping. All right, Newbro has narrowed the gap from almost 4 seconds down to about 2 1/3. Both of these drivers are in GTRs, so they're perfectly matched. The balance of performance is set for this race. So these cars are very evenly matched. The only differences are going to be tires and obviously driving styles and skills. So far in this series, the GTR has proven to be the top car. It's the one you want. Though overall in GT4, the Porsche, the Cayman, in Gr4 format, has been solid, very fast. If you drive it, you'll do well. All right, Craig and Bella, bit of a race. Well, somehow Newbro's got past Celtic Flyer. I thought it was because he went into the pits. Apparently he had a big off. Because what was once 3 seconds is now going on 35 seconds. I am both sorry I missed that and glad I missed that. So James took a spin. Let's see what his car looks like. Well, that gives Newbro the chance to just jump right into the pits, because he may make the pit delta and come out ahead. Celtic, no doubt, is going to want to pit here. Well, he's already pitted. Ah, perhaps that's what I missed. Okay, apologies to the stream. I did not see him go in for tires. So he will come out ahead of Newbro. And he does. And apologies to James, too. Did not have a bad moment. He remains solid. And 5 seconds ahead. And Newbro's going to have to finish his outlap, which means he has to be careful on those cold tires, so that's going to give James even more of a gap, in all likelihood. Let's see how Newbro's doing on those new shoes. He's put on mediums. Cut that one close. He's going to have dirty tires here. He'd better be careful. Makes it work. Scrubs them clean. Meanwhile, now it's Craig and Bella having a scrap for a moment. As until Bella hits the penalty mark and disappears in a puff of smoke. Unfortunate. He'll probably get that back though. Bella always finds a way to be quick. And here comes Ivan, no doubt looking for Craig on his new mediums. Muscle cars battle away. Those cars can fly in the straights and corner like bricks because America. Boy! Welcome to the fun. Alright, look at Markey. Picking up a little bit of space. He's just not quite close enough to get in that slip. And that Viper is hella fast out of the corner. That Viper loves the straights with that V10. Alright, moving on to King. Got lots of space between him, Markey, and Mamba. Justin has got Judicial side by side. Be nice, Judicial. Good job. Justin cuts it a little bit close. Leaves enough space. Not a terribly aggressive move by either driver. They were both trying to give each other room. But Justin really took that spot away in commanding fashion. And picked up almost a full second. So if Judicial can get around this corner fast enough, he should be able to catch. Well, he's going to catch him now. Justin's gone off into the dirt. Now he's going to have to clean off those tires. And he is struggling around these tight turns. Dirty tires will mess you up. Judicial takes advantage. All right, blue flag's coming up. It looks like we have Celtic Flyer about to pass some of our back markers. Let's see where he is on track. So Firewoodman and Falcon are bringing up the rear. And it looks like Celtic may have already passed quite a few. Apologies for not knowing exactly where everyone is on the track. It's a bit of a challenge with this track map. Alright, so Falcon is at risk for being lapped somewhere. Let's get on Celtic's bumper and see. We can see him ahead. Nope, still a ways to go. Well, I scrubbed those fronts raw. That's aggressive cornering. Late braking, hard cornering. So, lots of space between cars. Looks like we have something happening. Here we've got Falcon off in the hairpin. Must have goosed that throttle just a little bit too much. Done a little front end damage too. It might affect the steering, at least briefly. And he is on fairly new mediums. Maybe he's not used to those tires. Meantime, Firewoodman has put a 136.7 down. It's a good lap. And Justin seems to be having a time of it in that Porsche. He's put down a 136.9, which is a solid lap. So he can do it if he can keep him getting off track. Judicial's consistent. Quick. Mamba very consistent and quick, although he has picked up a half second for doing something naughty. And another one. Oh dear. Apparently they don't like your McLaren here in fake Switzerland. King Racer, it's down some very respectable times. 136 isn't even a 135.9. So King is getting faster. That get him up to the other pony car that Marky's driving? Well, he is certainly making up the gap. Ah, now we have a race. So the fight for 6th is on. Certainly for 7th. All right, Sammy's going to have to come in tight here. Nobody touches. No, there was a paper-wide gap, but no touchy. And then Cal, of course, with that Viper, once he gets out of the corner, he's gone. Now Markey is getting a slipstream. Oh, we have Falcon coming out of the pits. And that has caused the 2 cars that we're looking at right now to have to slow it up a little bit, particularly Sammy. And that puts Markey right on the doors of Cal Naughton and gives him a shot around. Now Falcon wisely held up. He was paying attention to the map and or his rearview mirror, so he knew what was coming. And he wisely stayed put. But he got caught out. There was nothing he could do. So all he could do was wait and hope everybody saw him. Fortunately, it worked out. Not so great for Sammy. But it hasn't taken anybody out of the race, so good move. Good move by Falcon. All right, he's going to try to go under. Let's see, does he give him a nudge? Nope. Well, they're leaving a wafer-thin gap as Cal descends into the pits. So that puts Sammy up in 6th. Markey gets a little momentum from the slipstream. Not enough. Not enough to make the corner. Tries going under. Nothing there. But he has got some mo going. You do have to be careful here, especially as corners are treacherous. When you have got a slipstream ahead of you, you can lose downforce, but he makes it work. He drives that pony car like it's a Porsche. All right, let's see what Ivan's doing here. Huge gaps between Bella and Markey. Huge gap to Craig. Bigger gap to Newbro. About 3.5 seconds between P2 and P1. And James is off into outer space. Pulling 134s and 135s on medium tires. Falcon's back on track on his new softs. So with soft tires, perhaps he will put down some quick laps. Looks like Black Mamba has got Falcon in his sights. About a 2-second to 3-second space between the 2 of them, so that's going to be a while. Falcon needs to hold on. Not lose any more laps. A decent 137. Firewood Man out by himself. Cal Naughton all alone. Justin working his way back into the dance. He's got Judicial a couple seconds ahead. But Justin can get a really good exit out of that corner and make up some time there if he gets it just right. And it appears he got it pretty right. And right here's a great place to make up time in that Porsche. You want to get all of the track in there, hit that apex real close. Brakes hard. Nice little slide. Nice little display of driving. He did lose out on that corner. Just a little bit, that 90+ degree turn. If you're not ready for it, it'll take you out. So he's lost a couple tenths just from that one corner, and he was closing the gap. All right, 11 seconds between Judicial and Mamba. 7 3/4 to Sammy. Just 1.3 between Sammy and Marky B. So this looks like where the race is happening. Let's hang out here for a minute. Looks like Justin's picked up on Mamba. Excuse me. Oh, he has not. Yeah, Mamba is looking to put Falcon another lap down. Unfortunately, there's no way to tell what the gaps are between front runners and back markers once they've been lapped. And Falcon very kindly lets Mamba pass. You can get another display of great multi-21 sportsmanship. I just love it here. If you're used to racing the dailies and you have to deal with punters and cursors and just big fat egos, you're in the right place here. If you're tired of all of that, Multi-21 is the place for you. Multi-21 isn't just great racing, it's great sportsmanship all the way around. The Discord channel is a whole lot of fun. We've got some very clever, funny, and insightful people. Some great drivers who are willing to help, drivers who may not be as experienced, to build their skills. And if you join Multi-21, chances are you'll become a better driver quickly. So give us a look as Mamba takes a slight penalty for going wide. All right, Sammy and Cal are in a battle. Here we go. With Marky close behind, so we're in a three-way battle for 8th position. Oh, Marky lost the slipstream. But Sammy still has it. And this is a good long straight, a great place to gather momentum to hit this 90+ degree hairpin. Gosh, I'm going to say it's almost a 180. This is a kiss your tail turn right here. All right, Sammy brakes hard into the hairpin and closes up all of that space. He gets that full second back, and now he's hundredths of a second from Sammy's bumper. Oh man, Sammy, bold move. Just overcooks it a teeny bit, so he can't get around him quite, but boy, side by side and punching a giant hole in the air for Marky, which is, oh, I think Cal just gave Sammy a nudge. You might want to give that position back. And then Marky gives Sammy a nudge. Marky gives the position back. Excellent sportsmanship. And that threw Markey way back when he made that move to get that position back to Sammy. That was not a benefit to him, but it was fair play. This is what you get in Multi-21. But that fair play has now given the other pony car a shot at redemption, as Sammy and Cal get into it in the hairpin once again. Yep. If you like close racing, but fair racing, you found your spot. Because, folks, this is fun. When you don't have people punting you off track, trying to gain position, build up their DRs, it's just fun. Markey must be having to saw away at that wheel, just trying to keep that thing on track behind these cars. He has no grip in the front. He gets up in that dirty air and he just has to struggle to hold on. Let's see what's going on up front. Well, before we do that, we've got Judicial and JJ. Oh, that little gear shift cost him. It's funny how some of these cars will lose momentum on a simple shift. And that gives, well, he's given way for a blue flag, so perhaps I missed something. Unfortunately for him, he shouldn't have had to. Craig just dove into the pits. Let's get back to our front runners, which is Newbro. He has now passed Celtic Flyer as Celtic goes into the pit. Celtic Flyer comes out on a new set of hards, which he is unlikely to love for very long. He was putting down 134s on his mediums. Great lap times. As is Newbro, and solid 134s. So he has taken to those medium tires. Craig, meanwhile, has pitted, comes out on hards. We have a blue flag coming up. Craig is approaching Firewood Man. 13th. The hairpin, I think after this hairpin, our King of the Burning Logs is going to let him swing by. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. He wants to hold on to that lap. All right. Well, no one says you have to give it up. He takes a half a second for his trouble for going out wide. Craig's got the slip. All right, don't. You got a blue flag, buddy. You got to move. And he does. What's the battle for 6th place looking like? Well, Cal has got himself a penalty, unfortunately for him, and that's going to put King Racer into 7th. If he can make this corner, try the over-under. He does. He does it, and he spins Cal. Oh. Solid bummage. That gives Markey the opening he was looking for. And he picks up 7th. King Racer drops back to 8th. Cal's back on track, but now 7 seconds separate him and the nearest pony car. What a shame. Mamba has Justin on his tail. In a cracking race for 10th. Did I just say race for 10th? Yes, I did. Because that's what we do. We race for position. Even if you're dead last. If you have a car in front of you, you race. And you race to the end. It's called sportsmanship, punters. Look it up. Man. That Porsche, honestly, it's like driving a greased pig sometimes. That puts Judicial on his tail. He's been screaming through the corners in his Ferrari, obviously. And now that gives him a shot at 11th, which he happily takes. Kindly gives Justin a slipstream by way of thank you. As Judicial's 458 ticks ever closer to Mamba. Well, Justin's not going to give this up. He wants it back. He thinks he can get it here in the big U-turn. See how he comes out. Yeah, there's a bit of momentum. Starts knocking off hundreds. Oh, but just can't keep from screeching tires in these tight S's. So difficult to keep it steady through that sequence of turns. If he can brake early enough, get in tight enough, he should be able to come out happy. There he goes. Much better exit. In fact, an excellent one. Unfortunately, he's just not as fast on the straights as that Ferrari is. He's great in the corners. This is where he's going to make up his time, is in these corners. If he doesn't brake too late, he's going to make up time in the corners. The late braking, it's a killer. All right, Newbro's in for tires. And that pit delta should put Celtic Flyer back in the lead. So happy days, James. He has one more lap left of fuel. And those hards are just warming up. They're not even, they don't have a scratch on them. Well, looks like Newbro's out of the pits. Yes, indeed. Celtic's got a gap to make up here. 3.5 seconds on the last lap. That is not an easy gap to make up, so Newbro's well ahead. And it looks like this is his race to lose. Yeah, Celtic's not making up any space. We are going to have to look at that replay and see where things went wrong for Celtic Flyer. Craig's well, third place, big gaps. Bella, fourth place, huge gaps. As Newbro crosses the line, excellent race. Celtic Flyer makes his final run. Falcon comes out of the pits. Craig with a happy flash of the lights gets the final podium position. Excellent drive. Here comes Bella in fourth. Good points. Ivan has about 20 seconds to make to get his fifth position. Do we have any racing going on at the back? Looks like we have lots and lots of space between cars. So we'll just follow Ivan to the start-finish line. Ivan comes through in the Dragon. No flash. Oh dear! Was that Markey? It was Markey. Markey loses out. Sammy and King Racer are going to come out ahead and pick up points for 6th and 7th. Let's see if King Racer, yeah, I mean Markey can get, he does, okay, he doesn't lose 8. Slams the wall in disgust. I don't blame you. Comes Mamba, just ahead of Judicial. In that Mac. Justin crosses the line with a decent 138. Firewoodman and Falcon bring up the rear at 13th and 14th. Well done, racers. Sorry for Celtic Flyer for any mishaps that I might have missed. We will go back to the replay. I promise I will broadcast some highlights in a short period of time. But for now, I'd like to say to all the racers, well done, excellent drive. Thanks for an hour of solid entertainment. For the folks at Multi 21, this is SpiffyG signing off for now. Bye-bye.